guys, we're online.
We are? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Didn't give me any sort of notification, but that's okay.
Oh, at least it's recording on my hand, so.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see the little, yeah, we got,
Yeah, the dot.
we're recording, we're good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about this podcast. Let's talk about that.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of the Let's Talk About That podcast.
Since last time we've since last time we gained a lot of subscribers. Actually, we have now 12 subscribers on the YouTube channel. It's quite a bit.
Oh man, we are well on our way to becoming social media giants here.
Yeah, I can't wait to get on some famous American talk show and talk about my big success. We actually have some views. It's really nice to see that someone actually takes the time to listen to us. It's we appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I was in the car yesterday with my kids, driving down to the grandparents' house, and I said to my 7-year-old, I said, "Hey, do you want to hear some of the podcast that I'm doing with my friend?" And he said, "Sure." And we ended up listening to like most of the second episode on the way down.
That's awesome.
So,
that's
you
awesome.
seem to really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's nice. Your kids actually understand what we were talking about. My kids wouldn't understand much because of the language barrier that still exists. But soon.
I think your younger one probably wouldn't understand much of anything at this point.
He understands the meaning of food, I guess.
Yes.
Not the word, but the substance of food.
Yeah. Have you started him on any solid food yet?
No, it's 4 months, so it's okay to start, I guess. But I think we're holding it back a little more. Yeah. But he's very interested in food, especially when we eat. He's almost crawling onto the table.
Well, that's good. They say that's the sign that they're ready.
Yeah, mentally he's ready. So today's topic, we said last time we're going to talk about music today, even though we could have continued probably 6 hours more talking about food, which was the last episode's topic. Music. It's a vast topic, isn't it, Tommy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's we just keep picking these broad ones that talk about for hours. But I mean, yeah, music. There's a lot to say there. I guess maybe let's start with what sort of music do you go for?
Well, I'm a metalhead for the most part, but I'm not allergic to other genres as well. I mean, my Spotify playlist I have everything from Skrillex, Eminem. I have some classical from Beethoven. I have Michael Jackson and Queen. I have some black metal from Norway, of course, and I have everything. But my go-to is metal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think that's very on brand for Scandinavian. I feel like.
Yeah, but still
the metal scene. I understand.
Yeah, but still kind of feels lonely to be metalhead because the pop culture is so much bigger. Yeah, everywhere you go, there's pop music. So when I say I listen to metal, it's kind of frowned upon. Oh, you don't listen to what I do? No, I don't usually do, but I'm not allergic to it as you are with my music. If you get what I mean.
Yep, I get it.
What about you?
Well, I'm kind of all over the board, honestly. My my Spotify playlists. My Spotify playlist has everything from Metallica to I'm trying to think what's the polar opposite of Metallica that I would have on there. I don't know. I listen to kind of a lot of stuff. It's from all over. I don't really get into the hip hop so much or the
No, neither do I.
or anything like that. But some pop is good. I admit to being a total nerd who likes some J-pop and J-rock. Like I like anime.
Sure. It's a big scene. If you judge people on what kind of series or music they like, I think you're in the wrong right away. No matter what, you're in the wrong.
I agree. I whatever I may say, I may say something in jest, but I absolutely would never have a serious issue with someone's taste in music or TV. And there's also sometimes there's this on the other end of the coin, there's this fandom sort of idea where, oh well, you're not a real fan unless you blah blah blah. It's like, if you enjoy it, you're a fan of it. That's all you need.
Yeah, of course. As I mean, you can be a fan and you can be a fan. Like having all the memorabilia and go for the everything, knowing everything about an artist. And I have to admit, I am kind of one of those. Maybe not as hard at getting the memorabilia, but I like to dive into the history, the life of the artist, maybe. Especially with artists like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff.
Sure.
I love diving into the vast history and to get to know the person better. It helps me kind of understand the music, and this goes to Queen, Eminem, anyone I've kind of fascinated with. I listen to a lot of the lyrics, and I find many lyrics so deep that it has to come from somewhere. And then I start to wonder where, why, what happened.
That's really cool. I have to confess, I'm almost kind of the exact opposite. For me, the lyrics have always been kind of a secondary part to the music. It's got to be. I'm all about the melody and the chords and sort of the general vibe of the song.
Yeah, of course.
And then I start listening to the words eventually. But
of course. I mean, if there's no melody there, I kind of lose the interest in the lyrics too. But if the lyrics are good, then it doesn't matter. But if the lyrics are the typical blah 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 lyrics, just from the top of your head, no feelings in it, and there is no, especially no certain melody in it, I kind of lose interest in the music. But that's me. That's my opinion. There's like let's see, 7 billion people with different opinions. So
yeah, I mean, but most of them are wrong. So
yeah, of course, yeah. But I still accept that they exist.
Yeah. For the most part, I can accept all of them. I will never understand the meteoric rise of Justin Bieber, but
No, of course, but then I recognize that he is a great artist. I mean, you don't get a following without being a good artist. So
yeah.
he had to have some talent. I mean, he have a good voice. At least he had. I don't know anymore, but he had a good voice. He could play the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he can reach far. But I guess the media took him away before he could reach the potential I probably would have seen him in. But I don't know him, so
yeah. No, that's fair. What is if
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, if you we're gonna be we'll go with the old cliche. If you're gonna be stranded on a deserted island for, a year, and
Yeah.
you could only pick one album to bring, or, one CD, I mean, in whatever format. If you could only pick one to bring, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, that's a hard one because I'm a blood fan of the Norwegian power metal band Pagan's Mind, and I'm a huge fan of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. Also, big fan of him. And so, picking one album, it would have to be. I guess it would have to be some Pagan's Mind related. Probably the God's Equation album from Pagan's Mind.
Mm.
I guess it was my first real concert. Was a release concert for that album, so it's kind of. Yeah, I remember
Cool.
that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. I remember. Yeah, you shared them with me, and I listened to some of that. I should listen to more because I liked what I'd heard. Because they're kind of more on that, like the kind of like a prog metal sort of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very much inspired by Dream Theater, and I saw Dream Theater, where Pagan's Mind was the warm-up band.
The opener.
Yeah, the opener. In a small place in here in southern Norway. It was amazing. There was people there who traveled like 5 hours with car to see Dream Theater and was stunned by seeing Pagan's Mind. So, yeah, it was awesome seeing both of them.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
because of course I love Dream Theater.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of seeing them live.
Yeah, that's really cool. I admit I don't think I've ever been to a concert before.
Oh.
Yeah, I've always just listened on CD and stuff like that,
Yeah, sure. But you've played concerts, right? You're a musical genius or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know about genius, but yeah, no, I mean I do. I took piano lessons for many years, and I don't play nearly that much anymore. But I still love to go and play, movie music and stuff from anime and do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you surprised me here the other day with a short video of you playing the Lord of the Rings theme. I didn't know you could play piano before that.
Well, yeah, no, because of course, for those that don't know, Martin is also a big fan of Lord of the Rings. So
absolutely, I have to see all the movies at least twice a year to feel complete.
Well, I'm sure we'll have to get into depth talking about that at some point.
Absolutely, it's a vast theme that too. But I'm spitting your question over to you, Tony. When we're on the beach, what album, what artist?
I mean, you'd think since I was the one that asked the question that I would, have an answer in mind for myself.
Probably.
It's tough because I really, there are very few like individual albums that I really like to listen to all the songs on the album. Like I've always sort of just done like, I have a couple favorite songs from several different artists.
Yeah, of course.
And I own very few. Back in the day, I definitely would have probably said The Offspring's Americana. But that was a while ago. But back in like high school and college, I loved them. I still like The Offspring. I just not into them as much as I used to be. I would say, gosh,
that's a hard question, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What sort of an idiot asked that sort of question, right?
You asked me first.
Exactly. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I would say, well, okay, I really like this band. They're a Swedish band, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of their name, but they're like Wintergatan.
With a W?
Yeah, I guess it's like Swedish for Milky Way, which is like the name of the the name of the galaxy.
No, it's a Vintergatan. It's the Winter Way, Winter Road.
Okay.
I think if that's true, I haven't heard about them actually.
Yeah, I mean they're a little outside your your sort of wheelhouse of music.
I see.
They're interesting. They're like electronica, and they use a lot of like very unique instruments. Like some of their songs feature typewriter quite prominently.
Oh, that's awesome! Using different stuff as an element in the music. That's awesome.
Yeah, one strike against them though is they don't do their songs are all instrumental, so
yeah,
you don't get the lyrics, which is something I do like in songs. But I don't know. I just find their songs to be so catchy, and they always kind of feel like a pick me up to listen to them. So
yeah,
especially
are...
what was the main one that they're and again I'm going to butcher the pronunciation there. Sommerflagel or
is that Sommerfågel maybe?
Yeah.
Is that because that's a butterfly in Swedish?
Oh yeah, that's it. Sommarfagel. Yeah, I'm putting in an extra L.
Yeah. Sommerfågel. That's an O, It's an ogel. So it's
yeah, sorry.
Fogel is bird. So it's a summer bird, also known as a butterfly.
Oh, so, that's actually really nice when I consider the song.
The difference between English and Scandinavian languages.
Yeah, well, and the thing with accents, like the whatever you call that accent that's over the A in Sommerfogel.
Yeah, that's an O. It's a whole different letter actually. It's
yeah, I'm not used to like actually distinguishing the vowel sound at all. I'm used to English where we just use the same letter and you just have to know which sound it makes.
Yeah, it's a difference. It's a difference.
Yes. But sorry, I threatened to derail us from our topic today.
That I think this just shows our few listeners how much we are able to talk about. Showing them how long we can keep on going, and but we're talking about music.
That's right.
We mentioned you play piano, play occasionally.
Yeah.
But well, let's say, what music do you least like? I mean, if you're is there a genre you wouldn't listen to if you get my question? What's your least favorite genre?
Yes.
You mentioned hip hop, but I mean there is good hip hop too, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the challenge is you can always find at least a couple of songs in the genre, which are sort of deep. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily like, hip hop, rap, that sort of things, but I like a lot of like Eminem. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's like aggressive. I like the aggressive music.
Or there's 21 Pilots. I like them. I don't know. I don't even know what to classify them as, but they've got kind of a hip hoppy vibe to them. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, they're on the radio and such. So I've heard something from them. Yeah, by them would be the right term.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't listen to much classical music, but there are some really nice classical songs I enjoy.
Yeah,
I love
orchestral
music. But like movie soundtracks, I'm super into that.
Yeah. I mean, we're both a Lord of the Rings fans, and we both like that music. Bet you're familiar with Howard Shore, the creator of the music in the Lord of the Rings franchise. I've listened to those melodies, songs, instrumentals, call them whatever you want. They're so calming and kind of inspiring, I guess. Have you listened to them like outside of the movie?
Not all of them. I mean, I've heard, and what's the name of the song that I was playing on the piano the other day?
Yeah, because I don't remember the songs, but I made a playlist with all the songs.
I don't know. I don't want. Hold on. I go. Lord of the Rings main song. It's kind of like, what is it called? Is it Hope and Memory? I don't know. But
yeah, it's the main theme. It's what everyone have heard, I guess.
Yeah, I've listened to that one. Just that one's come up before on my like Pandora radio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's actually, I should send this to you. There's a podcast that I really enjoy, called it's just called the Soundtrack Podcast, where this guy really dives deep into like the process and like all the different themes and nuances to the soundtracks of movies, and he's got like a multi-part one on Lord of the Rings, which is really cool.
Yeah, and, people should absolutely check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that one. And then I think because the other thing I think is really cool is, I guess it's the theme of the ring in there, which it's kind of that sort of ominous kind of string part that plays, and plays right at the beginning of Fellowship. But yeah, that's a really cool track as well.
Yeah, these songs from the Lord of the Rings movies, they are classical. I would probably classify them as classical music, with big bands and such. But when I say that one of the biggest bands of classical music, what would you call orchestra? Yeah, orchestra in Norway played with one of the biggest black metal bands live on the Norwegian TV some years back, and that's quite interesting because you don't often say black metal people and classical music people being together in a concert, but they were. It was played on live TV too, and it was it was a success, I'll say. It was awesome. They played, I think they toured with that orchestra, and they even had a choir singing with them. It's awesome because this band has so much classical and synth melodies in their songs, so much elements from the classical world. So yeah, it's a masterpiece music-wise. You may not like the singing, screaming, growling, whatever you want to call it. You might not like the text, but at least I think you can appreciate the melodies. And
absolutely.
And this kind of shows me that music doesn't defy people.
Yeah, and
it brings us together. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we shouldn't put on airs about being better than others just because they like Justin Bieber, so they're no good.
No, of course not.
Because I mean, music is music, and
music is music, and you feel music not with your ears. That's why you use your ear to listen to music, but you don't feel the music with your ears. I when I hear something good, I instantly think of something. It kind of reminds me of something. It could be anything, but I feel something. You're familiar with that?
Absolutely. No, I'm very much the same. My favorite music is the music that makes me feel something, that makes me feel emotional about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think maybe that's part of why I like movie soundtracks and things like that, because you know, the sort of some of the emotions of the movie kind of get encoded and wrapped up in the music, and so I can kind of, you know, it's kind of cheating, I guess, but you know, it's like, oh, you know, when I hear this song, I think of this part of the movie and how that felt, and it all kind of comes together. But it would also be, you know, but also the movie wouldn't have the same impact without the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, they try that one. They play this horror movie with like circus music, and it suddenly became comedy.
Yeah, I think people don't realize, just what a critical part music plays in cinema, and I think it's really great. I mean, it really is the part that tells us how to feel.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take away the music from any given movie, I mean, there could just be this slightly ringing in the background. You maybe not even noticing it when you're watching the movie, but if you take it away, the whole scene would be so different.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, the other kind of famous example of that is Jaws.
Yeah,
because that like, yep. Well, the funny thing is how synonymous that theme is with shark, because we were at the pool, you know, a couple years ago, and you know, we're with our you know, he's probably 5 years old then. He's never seen Jaws. He's not familiar with that.
No, of course not.
And my wife is like on the side of the pool, and she goes like da 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 da, and he yells shark, and it's like, it's how does he know? It's there. But,
yeah, I think
course,
they kind of use it in cartoons too, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that though is that that really made the movie, because they had this animatronic shark which never worked very well, and so John Williams, I love John Williams, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, he uses the music to tell you where the shark is, you know, is essentially what it's at. And there's also a really great episode of the soundtrack show about this one. But it's so cool that, you know, I couldn't imagine Jaws without the music. It's just a lot of shots of the water with nothing, you know.
Yeah, it would be like it wouldn't be the same. Absolutely not. Jaws is now a rather old movie, I guess.
Yeah. 1975, I think.
Yeah, that's way before I was born, before you were born too. But still, I've seen it plenty of times. Suddenly, we're talking about movies. I thought it was going to be about music.
Yeah, sorry, we got on the movie soundtracks, and well,
yeah.
You know,
but this again shows it shows the powerful influence music has. Without music,
yes.
I think music is a really, really important way of communication. Everyone understands music. If I play you a sad tune, you would know. If I couldn't describe how I feel and I would play you a sad tune, you would understand. If I just wrote you a song, not with the lyrics, you could probably understand how I felt, why making that, and I think that's magical, kind of. That music can bring people together without knowing each other's languages.
Yeah, of course, the pedantic part of me wants to say that. I mean, that at least within sort of Western cultures, that would be the case. I know their music is drastically different in, you know, Africa. They have very different musical traditions.
Yeah, sure. It's quite different. Absolutely.
Yeah. But definitely, yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool that it's universal like that, and you know, across so many different cultures, you know, it's all understandable in a way.
Yeah. Music is played everywhere, every day. And I've met people. when I meet new people, I tend to ask them, what's your favorite artist? What kind of music do you listen to? Not because it defines the person, but because it might open up a whole new world to talk about things and so on. Yeah, it helps to probably get some color to the new person, if you understand.
Absolutely.
And I've met people that say I don't listen to music, and then I'm kind of flabbergasted. Why you don't? How? What? You don't listen to music? How is that even possible? I think. Do you have an explanation? Because I can't really understand how that is possible.
Well,
Not listen to music at all.
I actually kind of understand, because actually for some of my teenage years, I was actually in that boat. I really I didn't really listen to music, and I think really what it comes down to is maybe that they just haven't found something that really resonates with them, that really, that feels that gives them that a feeling when they listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. They hear music and there's just noise. They don't understand what they're listening to. Maybe they haven't found what grasps them.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's kind of what it is, because I mean, especially, I mean, it's a little tough because nowadays you have access to so much music, at your fingertips. Back when I was a teenager, that was not as much the case. I mean, you had to buy CDs.
Yeah.
You could hear stuff on the radio, and of course that means that you're mostly exposed to sort of mainstream stuff. And I tend to find that mainstream stuff, at least personally, it feels less emotionally connected to me.
Yeah. I totally agree. One of my earliest memories of finding music is when going through my dad's drawer of cassettes. The old cassette, and I found this cassette. It was a picture of it was like the Crusades. I tried to describe it for you now. It was bloody riders on horses with axes and flags running on the fields. There was one man in the front with a horse and armor and a flag, and above him there was a band name called Saxon. I don't know if you heard about them. They're a British band from they started in when did they form? In 1977 in Barnsley, the UK. So they've been around for a long time, but I didn't know what kind of music it was. I just picked it up and thought, wow, what a cool picture! I'm gonna listen to this. And it started with a theme that you heard horses running and men screaming like going to war, and then this smooth guitar playing started in the background, and the main song came on, Crusader. It was my entrance to the metal world, I guess.
Huh. That's cool.
I was about 5 or 6 years old at the time.
Well, no wonder you're so into it still.
Yeah, I haven't dived much into sax, but I still listen to that album. I ruined that cassette, actually. I played it too many times. It didn't work anymore.
I'm sure your dad was pleased.
Yeah, I actually some years back I bought him an LP of the same album. He was pleased to get that one.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I had to do that when I found it in a thrift store in another town. I had to buy it. What's your memory of music in that sense? If you have any, of course.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got in terms of like listening to music, because I played a lot of piano, and I had, I played some songs that that resonated with me. But you know, I think, well, it's funny, we talk about movie, you know, we talked about music and movies. I think one of the first, you know, this was sort of around when we were still using cassettes, but they were maybe on the way out a bit.
Yeah, of course.
I think one of the first cassettes I ever bought was the soundtrack to the movie Armageddon. You familiar with that movie?
That movie Armageddon from I think yeah, I've seen it, of course.
Yeah, of course,
from '98.
Yeah. Of course, the big song, the Aerosmith. I don't want to close my eyes. You know.
Oh yeah. Of course.
That was the big thing. That was big on there. Yeah, Aerosmith is. I like some of their stuff. But I think actually the song on there that I really, really liked, and I still really like to this day, was I think a sort of little known song by Journey called "Remember Me."
Oh yeah.
I think I've played a little bit of that for you before, because I really like that one, and that one's got a great emotional vibe to it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You know, I mean, but even then, I was still sort of sparing, and really, what I ended up getting into was sort of like, I didn't know it at the time, but it was video game music from a Super Nintendo game called Super Turrican, and I found it online somewhere when I was at a friend's house, because he had the internet, I didn't have it back then. And I started to really like these songs, though, and, you know, burn some of them onto CDs, and actually, I think that was really my gateway into getting back into music, in terms of listening to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, when you're talking about the Journey song, "Remember Me," a little known song, maybe. I found maybe those are the pearls, the little known songs that didn't hit the billboards. But those maybe have like the strongest message from the songwriter herself.
No, I mean, it's for, you know, the mainstream is what it is, but I think it has sort of a moderating effect where it, you know, it kind of is something that everyone likes somewhat. You know, whereas maybe it's these outside ones that the general public maybe doesn't all like, but really hit you hard, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you hear a song on the radio and think, oh, that's a rather good song, or I like the singer, I like something about this, check out the artist or the band, and check out their music, not just that song, because I've seen when doing that myself, hearing one song, diving into the band, and finding out that, whoa, they've changed the genres, and early on they had like a whole different game, and there are some pearls behind them, and they have some pearls now, and I mean, a band is not just that song.
Absolutely.
Because some bands are defined by the song, and they maybe not even like it themselves. I mean, Lorde, you know, the Australian artist Lorde.
Yeah.
She had this song, King Bee, right? I think maybe it was the Royals song.
Royals, yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but she didn't like that song at all, and it's the most heard, listened song of hers, but she don't like it herself. And then again, she probably have other songs she loves that few people actually have heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, for better or worse, it's you know, you've got like producers and stuff like that are trying to influence, you know, what influence you. Yeah, you end up with these songs that you don't necessarily like. Maybe they don't resonate with you so much as an artist, but, you know, they think that people will like. but it's the hidden, the small hidden gems, which are the ones where you really let yourself come through.
Yeah, I feel that when you sign a contract with a huge label company, they don't sign it for a given time, I guess. They sign it for X amount of albums, singles, music videos, and they just have to produce fast. And maybe if a band uses 10 years to come up with good music, they can't produce good music on 5 albums over 3 years. It doesn't
Sure.
work. It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I think many companies have kind of ruined bands and artists, made them lose interest in producing good music. In a way, once they're released from the contract, they're able to produce the music they want again. Of course, this isn't always the case, but I guess it's the case more often than we'd like.
Well, of course, I think it's actually kind of funny. Here in Minnesota, of course, we celebrate the artist Prince, pretty heavily because he is.
The Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, isn't that
Yes.
what he?
Exactly. Well, I mean, the funny thing was that the whole thing with the symbol, and the artist formerly known as Prince, was actually in part because of a contract that he had.
Yes,
where,
exactly.
Because he basically did this whole thing as a stunt to say, well, no, these aren't Prince songs, so you don't have rights to them or something like that.
Yeah, it's a genius, but probably dangerous game to play. But he was such a big artist and still is, so he could play it off.
Yeah, you'd have to be the artist formerly known as Prince to pull that off, probably.
Yeah, I mean, talking about musical geniuses, that is one. Unfortunately, I don't think many of the younger generation know songs by Prince or the artist formerly known as Prince. But he truly was a genius. He made most of the music all by himself, I've learned. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard the same thing. I have to confess, I'm a bad Minnesotan because I'm not. I haven't listened to a lot of his music. Although we play in our car fairly regularly. There's a station called the Purple Current, which is basically dedicated to Prince music and like Prince inspired music. So, and we listen to that a lot in the car, and that's really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, once again, every genre has pearls, has good jam. Just because you're a fan of Lady Gaga doesn't mean you can't like Prince or Metallica or Dimmu Borgir, the black metal band. Because I think if you really dive into the music, you don't listen to it the surface. If you really dive into, I think you can like at least one song from any artist.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, and sometimes, and this is true with things other than music as well. Sometimes I feel like people get too wrapped up in making their love of this thing their identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that it's not like it's like a betrayal of who they are as a person to like something different. And I mean, this is a whole can of worms that I won't get into, but I mean, it's sort of like you get the same sort of thing in politics.
Absolutely.
Where it's like this conservative ideology is my identity, and so I can't like any liberal ideas because then I'm a traitor.
That's just plain stupid.
Yeah.
But
the same thing can be true of really any sort of fandom. Is if if you limit your identity to being just that, then you're missing out on so much.
Oh
and
yeah.
you're causing so much drama over nothing, essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
especially politics, as you say, and religion, and it could be movies and anything. I mean, it's okay to not like it, but you don't have to hate it.
mhm.
And I mean, you can have your own opinions on everything. I mean, you could support. Let's take the big theme of in the U.S. You can support Trump, but you can also support Biden. I mean, they're two people. They both have good sides. You get what I mean, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there are, there are reasons to like either candidate.
Absolutely.
And I'm having a really hard time not editorializing here, with one of those particular names.
Of course, but then again, you can hate and you can love both persons, because as big politicians, they have to have a meaning about everything, and so do you. You can support him and you can support him, but on different themes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard, really.
Yeah.
You don't have to choose right away. You can choose to vote blank if you may. At least here in Norway, you can vote given a blank vote when you're voting.
Oh yeah.
So this comes to religion and music. If you're a fan of, as I said, Lady Gaga, you can listen to Metallica too, and like that. It's you're not bound to the one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just limiting yourself for no reason if you don't look outside.
Yeah. It's yeah. This frustrates me a lot when I hear people think I'm listening to this, or I like that, so I can't like that. It's you can like chocolate cake and you can like sponge bread at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might have one you prefer, but
yeah, I mean, I'm a metalhead, but I'm not allergic to listen to classical music.
Yeah,
even though they're totally opposite. But then again, they're not, because, well, I find them not.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like you had talked about earlier, sometimes those sort of fusions that you get. There's a song that I actually really like from from an anime, but
Yeah.
it is a song that it's so good, but it combines two genres that I generally don't care for. It is basically combining like rap, hip hop with opera.
Oh,
And
that sounds really interesting.
yeah, it's a really cool song. I really, it's one of my favorites. But I mean, that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's when you see those fusions, you realize sort of how much similarity there is, between all the genres.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, music is probably the greatest and best form of communication when you don't have the language to express yourself, to bring on emotions, and so on. You just don't have to limit that to a certain instrument or a way to sing. I've heard rap songs with screamos and metal guitars and strings in them, just mashing it all together, and it becomes something incredible. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, people need to listen to more music, I guess, more different kinds of music, because, as you said, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
You're missing out.
But I know before we end for today, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the recent passing of another musical legend.
Yeah, we're talking about Hans-Erik, Dyvik Husby, also known as Hank von Hell. The vocalist of Turbonegro. He passed November 19th, sadly, at the age of 49. It was it kind of came as a shock on everyone. I didn't know too much about him, although I admired him as an artist. You should absolutely check out Turbonegro and his solo music. He was known for being shirtless on stage with some kind of Alice Cooper-ish makeup. He was also known in Norway for being open about his extreme drug addiction, cocaine, and so on. He was clean now, though, after what I know. He also was a judge on Norwegian Idol scene. He was also he also did a thing in the European Song Contests a couple of times. He was in the cooking shows or two. And what really surprised me was that Steve-O, the man from Jackass, actually had made a movie with him, or a series. And there was also several American celebrities honoring him on Twitter. It's sad when people pass at a fairly young age. I mean, after I started diving into music, there have been a lot of deaths. That's how it's always going to be, but it's still sad when you lose someone. It kind of feels personal, I guess. Like when Joey Jordison passed, we had Dio passing, and these are metal guys because that's what I know. We also had Leonard Cohen passing. I remember Michael Jackson. It leaves a mark. There's not going to be anything more from that artist, and it's sad. It's sad. It really is, because some of the recent songs I discovered from Hank von Hell, Hanky, I think it was also known as, was a song called Blackened Eyes. It's really masterpiece. He also had one called something about disco. I'm so bad at remembering songs. It was kind of yeah, it's called just disco. It was pop-ish, but he had his emotions over it. I guess you understand what I mean. You should absolutely check out his works and yeah, maybe try to remember. Yeah,
I'm looking at his list of albums and stuff right now. He's got some interesting albums.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They were yeah, they were known for a rather extreme image, I guess.
Yep.
Bad Mongo is a vinyl from 1995 there.
Yep. I see he's got a split EP called Stinky Fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one, it's, where they're apparently split with the band Anal Babes, like Flabby Sagging Flesh.
Yeah. I mean, you Small Feces is also a song from a box set compilation from 2005. So yeah, love it to Death Punk's Darkness Forever, Party Animal, yeah, Never Is Forever. I'm
just surprised he never worked with the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah. he was a great artist, I must say. Not too well known. But we talked about movie music. They did the ending song of a Norwegian horror movie. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The song. I think the song is called "All My Friends Are Dead." Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I have, but
yeah, it's called "All My Friends Are Dead." You should listen to that. It was an outro song for the movie. I can't quite remember the name of the movie, but that's not important.
sure.
But yeah, we're about to quit now, right? We've been talking about for about an hour.
Yeah, and clearly we have completely exhausted everything we have to say about music in this hour.
Yeah, with a huge S. I mean, these two, same as with food. It's a vast topic. We could talk for hours and drift on and off for the topic.
Yeah, we chatted for an hour. I didn't even bring up the fact that I'm in a barbershop quartet. So
yeah, we'll take that the next time, and the fact that I yeah. We have to again address our desire for you to come up with topics for us, dear listeners. Anything you want us to talk about, we'll make sure to drift off as soon as possible, as we usually do. It could be anything, everything from
you hear
math.
what the episodes are when we decide on the topics.
Yeah, I mean, please just throw anything out there. We'll do our best. We'll found something to talk about. If we don't get any suggestions, I think we'll try to talk about. It's probably too late now, though. Even though, yeah, we mentioned last episode that you could do this too. And if you do not get any suggestions, I think we had the language as the next theme.
Yeah,
that could also be quite interesting, I guess.
Oh yes, I could talk about language for at least an hour.
Yeah, I think an hour would be quite fitting. So yeah, this is kind of the time and place where we say goodbye, I guess. And
yeah, so get out there and experience all the different music. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, it's important, really important.
Yep.
Yeah.
And until next time, enjoy. And for those of you in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving coming up here. So
yeah, maybe you should talk about that next time too. Yeah. We could see we can see what we do.
Yeah.
It's kind of a vast team, that too. Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good week.
Then. Good week. Bye.